Submission of the report by the Committee on the Implementation of the New Minimum Wage Personal Verification headed by the Head of Service, Elder Efyong Esen. Meanwhile, the police command in Akwa Ibom has commenced sensitization campaign to ensure public compliance with the directives on vehicle owners to obtain third-party insurance. The Commissioner of Police in Akwa Ibom, Baba Azare, said in Uyo that the campaign would deepen public understanding and acceptance of the policy. He said that the police in Akwa Ibom was fully ready to enforce the directive of the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, adding that the third-party insurance was a compulsory legal requirement for all vehicle owners to operate their vehicles on public roads. As contained in a statement by the acting spokesperson of Nigeria's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kimebi Ebefa, the Federal Republic of Nigeria wishes to express deep condolences to the government and people of the Republic of Kirikei over the unfortunate fire incident at the Grand Cartel Hostel in the Ketelkaya in Sky Resort. The fire, which claimed the lives of 75 persons and injured more than 50 others in Bolu province in northwestern Turkey, was reported to have started in the early hours of Tuesday, January 21st, 2025. The federal government of Nigeria sympathizes with the government of the Republic of Turkey and the families of the victims of the fire incident and also wishes a speedy recovery of the injured, the statement said. Workers under the Nigerian Meteorological Agency has issued a 14-day ultimatum to agency's management to address long-standing welfare concerns or face a nationwide industrial action. The union said this in a letter titled Failure to Respond to Lawful and Reasonable Demand 14 Days Ultimatum. It was signed by Ochebe Abba of the National Union of Air Transport Employees, Sikiru Wahid of the Agglomerated Union of Public Corporation Civil Service Technical and Recreational Services Employees, and Abdul Razak Saidu of the Association of Nigerian Aviation Professionals. The unions accused NIMNET management of neglecting workers' welfare and failing to implement critical policies for staff well-being. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo will today testify before the International Chamber of Commerce, ICC, Paris, France, in connection with the $2.3 billion arbitration proceedings filed against Nigeria by Sunrise Power over an alleged breach of contract by the federal government. The chairman and CEO of Sunrise Power, Lino Adesonya, had earlier testified before the ICC in connection with the $2.3 billion arbitration proceedings his company filed against Nigeria. Obasanjo, in an interview a year ago, queried his former Minister of Power, Olu Ogunloye, how he got the prerogative to award the contract to Sunrise in 2003. Over now to the federal government through the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, and the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, NFIU, has kick-started an innovative that will ensure the exit of the country from the Action Task Force grey list by May 2025. And this initiative was a directive of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the NFIU to develop and implement an anti-money laundering, counter-financial terrorism, counter-proliferation of firearms data management framework and platform in collaboration with NITDA. At the inaugural technical session of the to kickstart the process at the NITDA headquarters in Abuja, the NITDA Director General Kashifu Inua disclosed that the technical session meeting will mark a remarkable mile in the country's journey to exit from the Financial Action Task Force grey list the nation has been enlisted into since February 2013. The Senate expressed displeasure over failure to embark on population census in the country and ordered the National Population Commission, NPC, to ensure that the exercise is carried out this year. The order was given when the chairman of the NPC, Honorable Nasiru Isa Kwara, appeared before the Senate Committee on National Identity and Population to defend the allocations to his agency in the 2025 budget. The committee, chaired by Senator Abdul Ningi, expressed anger over lack of headcounts in the country for the past 19 years. Elsewhere in the news, the Pediatric Association of Nigeria has raised the alarm over increasing rate of malnutrition among children in Nigeria, stating that it is a direct or underlying factor in about 45% of childhood deaths in the country. She disclosed this in Gombe State at the association's 56th Annual General Meeting and Scientific Conference. The professor of pediatrics and consultant pediatric cardiologists noted that the recent challenges of challenge rates, high cost of fuel, and low wages have jointly reduced the financial capability of many families, leading to low food security and inadequate food supply. You're watching the live broadcast of Midday News on Global Television. It's coming to you from the nation's capital, Abuja. The Midday News returns. South Korea to remove concrete walls near railways after deadly crash. We shall bring you those details as well as business and sports stories right after the break. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is Midday News on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. On our business desk now, the Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative has asked the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms to provide a clear and detailed explanation of its plan to harmonize federal and state tax laws in the proposed tax reform bill submitted to the National Assembly for approval. It also asks the committee to clarify the roles of sub-national governments in implementing the bill and identify areas needed to improve the policy gaps in the bill. The agency stated these in a statement signed and released by the Acting Director of Communications and Stakeholders Management, Obiagele Onorua, following a detailed review of the draft legislation, which showed extensive research and consultation. The Nigerian Labour Congress has called for the resignation of the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, over the repeated collapse of the national power grid. In a statement by the NLC President Joe Ajaero, the union expressed deep concern over the worsening state of Nigeria's electricity sector, which it described as being on the brink of total collapse. Ajaero also slammed the minister over the proposed allocation of 8 billion naira in the 2025 budget for sensitization of Nigerians on the need to pay electricity bills, accusing the Ministry of Power of prioritizing frivolous projects over critical infrastructure. The Minister of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, says 50% increase by telecommunication companies in the country was caused by inflation and rising operation cost. He stated this while responding to questions at the 2025 budget defense session by the Joint House of Representatives and Senate Committee on Communication. He added that the move was in tandem with broader economic patterns where tariffs lead to higher consumer prices as a result of additional costs on imported goods and tariff. The Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, FIBEC, is set to establish commercial courts and subnational councils as part of efforts to improve the country's business climate. The project manager at the BBEC Secretariat, Amiya Okpabolo, disclosed these initiatives in a statement highlighting a 2025 Outlook document. The council noted the establishment of a nationwide presence was central to its 2025 work plan to drive the ease of doing business swiftly through subnational reforms and commercial courts for easier business arbitration. The digital token known as Trump, which launched on Friday, saw its price jump from less than $10 on Saturday to a peak of $74.59 before adjusting slightly on Monday. According to reports, the surge in hashtag Trump's value came just ahead of Trump's return to the White House. The token's rise drew attention, with trading value hitting billions of dollars as trading at 13.45 GMT. The coin was trading at $46.93, giving its market cap at $9.4 billion. On the foreign scene, Korean South South Korean will change the concrete barriers used for navigation at the 9 airports across the country following December's plane crash that killed 179 people. 7 airports will also have their runway safety areas adapted following a review of all South Korean's airport that was carried out after the crash, the deadliest in the country's history. The Jeju air flight was bringing passengers home from Thailand after Christmas when it made an emergency landing at Muan Airport and exploded after slamming into a concrete barrier at the end of the runway. Now, the cause of the crash is still unknown, but air safety experts had earlier said the numbers of casualties would have much lower if for the structure. At least 10 Palestinians have been killed and nearly 40 injured by Israeli forces during a major operation in the Jenin area in the occupied West Bank. The Palestinian Health Ministry says. Palestinian media reported that there were several airstrikes as a large number of troops entered the city and its refugee camp, backed by drones, helicopters, and armored bulldozers. Israel's prime minister said it launched an extensive and significant operation to defeat terrorism in Jenin, long seen as a stronghold of Palestinian armed groups. In the same vein, the World Health Organization expressed regret over the announcement that the United States intends to withdraw from the organization. The global health body urged the U.S. to reconsider the decision, emphasizing its crucial role in protecting global health, including that of Americans. The organization highlighted its work in addressing the root cause of diseases, strengthening health systems, and responding to health emergencies, often in challenging environments where others cannot operate. Meanwhile, American politician, diplomat, attorney Marco Rubio have been sworn in as a United States Secretary of State. The swearing-in was conducted by the Vice President James Vance. In his new role, Rubio is expected to play a pivotal part in shaping U.S. foreign policy, particularly concerning relations with China and Latin America. In sports now, the Nigerian Premier League Football (NFL) has launched its new official match balls produced by Buster Sports ahead of the second stanza of the 2023-24 season. The league body announced that the first batch of match balls was delivered earlier this week following extensive negotiations to ensure the balls met international football standards. NPFL Chairman Benga Elegbeleye explained that the delay in introducing the balls at the start of the season stemmed from the league's commitment to quality. Manchester City has announced they had completed the signing of teenage defender Victor Reis from Brazilian club Palmeiras for a reported fee of €29.6 million. The 19-year-old Brazilian youth international has signed a 4.5-year deal with the Premier League champion. He expresses his excitement to join Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world. He said, "Working with Pep Guardiola is something every young player wants to do," adding that he knows Guardiola can help him develop into the best player he can. Now that's it on Global Television Midday News. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276 and free to air on Nicomsat. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using @Global TV NG. I am Jumai Manson.